Good morning friends, welcome in the class of Production Operation Management. Today we are going to discuss about the inventory management. Inventory management, it's a very important. You might see there's lot many organizations which are running inventory management as a separate stream of MBA. So we have an Institute of Material Management where they are providing a full-fledged degree in the material management or the inventory management. As you are already aware, the goal of every organization is to increase the profit. So what is the various ways to increase the profit? A, to increase the selling price. B, to minimize the cost price. C, to increase the volume. So increasing a sale price in today's day of competition, to increase the sale price option is not very feasible for various organizations. For example, you may say the Pepsi and Coke, both are selling their bottles at ₹10. If the Pepsi wants to increase the price from 10 to 12, it is not possible for them. So if the Pepsi wants to increase their profit, it is not possible to increase it with the help of the increase in the selling price. The second second way out is of the volume. So they may increase the profit with the help of the volume. But there is a separate strategies in our marketing. Once you will go through the subject of marketing management, to increasing the market share is again a tough job. There's not many techniques of increasing the market share. So that is altogether a different kind of a techniques which is required to increase the volume and through which to increase your profit. The third way is to minimize your cost of production. If you will able to reduce the cost of production, yes, you will able to increase your profit. So whenever we talk about the cost of production, the general rule or the rule of thumb is around 60 to 70% of the total cost of production in case of manufacturing is about the material only. So material constitute around 60 to 70% of total cost, labor constitute around 20% or 20 to 30% of the total cost of production, and the overhead cost somewhere around 10 to 15%. So if an organization wants to increase the profit, the best way is to minimize the cost of production. And whenever we want to minimize the cost of production, the focus should be on the inventory. So the question is, what is inventory? Inventory consists of three things. Inventory means the raw material, the work in progress, as well as the finished goods. All three are the components of the inventory. So the objective of inventory management is to minimize the investment in inventory, to ensure the smooth flow of the production, as well as to ensure the smooth supply of the finished goods in the market. So you may say there are n number of other objectives of inventory management also, that is to fix various stock levels, to determine economic order quantity, to determine safety stock, to categorize the goods under ABC classification, stock keeping, etc., to minimize wastage, to maximize the optimal utilization of the inventory, etc. Could be n number of other objectives of the inventory management, but broadly these are three objectives of the inventory management, or broadly we can say there are two objectives of the inventory management. One is to minimize investment in inventory. Second is to ensure the smooth flow of the production also. We may say to ensure the regular supply of the raw material or the regular supply of the finished goods in the market is again another objective of the inventory management. So how these objectives could be obtained? There are various techniques for this purpose. If I'm talking about the techniques of inventory management, I may name them as ABC classification. The second one could be the determination of various stock levels. Third could be the determination of economic order quantity. Fourth is a VED classification. Fifth is a perpetual stock keeping, etc. Similarly, the codification and the classification, etc., are the various techniques with the help of which the objectives of inventory management could be obtained. And we also have the inventory turnover ratio. Let's discuss about these techniques one by one. The first is inventory turnover ratio. So inventory turnover ratio indicates the speed with which inventory being converted into the cash. So, or it indicates whether our goods are fast moving goods or are slow moving goods. If inventory turnover ratio is high, it indicates our goods are fast moving, and if inventory turnover ratio is low, it indicates our goods are slow moving. So this is the first technique. Second, there is a determination of a stock level. This plays a very crucial role in minimizing the cost of inventory. So there are various kinds of the stock level, that is maximum level, minimum level, reorder level, safety stock, etc. are the certain levels which our organization need determine or need to fix in order to minimize the cost of inventory. So maximum level, we may take the example of from a daily life. As a student, some of you are living in a PG and maintaining their kitchen by themselves only. How much quantity of the rice you buy? Do you like to buy 100 kg of rice, or you at the max you buy around 5 kg or 10 kg of the rice? So whatever the maximum quantity you have determined is called as a maximum quantity. If you make the stock more than the maximum quantity, the limitation or the drawbacks of maintaining a stock higher than the maximum inventory will lead to a higher cost of higher investment, higher capital blocked in the inventory, more space for storage, more carrying cost, more holding costs, etc. are certain disadvantages of keeping an inventory higher than the maximum level. Similarly, if you want to maintain as minimum, let's say half kg of rice or 1 kg of rice, there is another thing is called as a minimum level. So minimum level is a level where you never ever want the stock should go below this level. If the stock should go below this level, your production may hamper. So you always want to maintain the inventory must at a minimum level. And generally, whenever the goods reach to a minimum level, you will place an order, and then in the meanwhile, you will receive the delivery and your stock will again goes to the maximum level. So if you think, if you see, there is a difference, what is the spread between a maximum and minimum level is generally a reorder quantity. So whenever it never ever happen that you place an order on, you will place an order and you will get the delivery on immediate basis. There is always a gap between placing an order and receiving the delivery of the goods. So this time gap is called as a lead time. And because of this lead time, generally a reorder level falls between maximum level and minimum level. You will look at what is the lead time which is required, and by looking at the lead time as well as your daily consumption, you will determine the reorder level. So let's say if I take your same example of the rice to be maintained by a day scholar or by somebody who is living in a PG and maintaining a kitchen himself. So you determine the maximum level is of 5 kg, minimum level is of 1 kg. You may decide the reorder level is of 2 kg. So whenever your stock reaches to a 2 kg of the rice, you will place an order. It took 2-3 days to receive the delivery, assuming you are buying the goods from Grofar or Amazon, etc. It takes 2-3 days to receive the delivery. And whenever your stock reaches to a minimum level, let's say 1 kg, you will receive the fresh delivery. Let's say your reorder quantity is a 4 kg. Again, 1 kg of the minimum level plus reorder quantity of 4 kg. Again, you will reach to a maximum quantity of the 5 kg. So this is how the stock keeping will help you. The determination of stock level will help you in maintaining the inventory. There is one more level, which is called as a safety stock. Safety stock is very crucial. Sometimes you might say there is a delay in the delivery or there is excess consumption. So in both of the conditions, you will able to continue your production only and only if you are maintaining a safety stock. If an organization is not maintaining a safety stock, you will find the minimum level is 0. It is always, safety stock is always a difference between 0 and the minimum level. So this is the second technique for inventory control. So we have discussed, first is a inventory turnover ratio, second is a inventory determination of stock level, third is a economic order quantity. Under stock level, we have determined how much quantity of rice is to be placed, whether it is of 4 kg or a 3 kg. So determination of this quantity, whenever we are placing a fresh order or if we are producing a goods by our own in a particular lot, how much quantity should be produced is called as economic lot size or economic order quantity. How much quantity is to be produced or how much quantity is to be purchased. So this is a very crucial decision. Generally, we have two methods for taking this kind of decision. One is a graphical method. We will draw a EOQ graph where on x-axis we will place quantity, on y-axis we will place cost, and we will see when the quantity ordered is 0, the carrying cost of the inventory is again 0, and the carrying cost of inventory is per unit carrying cost of the inventory increases with the increase in the quantity. And the ordering cost, the second component of this graph, you find as the quantity ordered increases, the cost per unit of ordering falls down, but it will never reaches to a y-axis. It will x-axis. It will never goes to 0. And generally, where carrying cost cuts the ordering cost is you find the total cost of inventory is minimum at that very level, and that very level is called as economic order quantity. This is one method. Second, you will find there is algebraic method. Under algebraic method, you will determine the EOQ with the help of a formula 2 into D into CO divided by CC. 2 into annual demand into ordering cost per order divided by carrying cost per unit per annum, the whole under root. This is another method of calculating the inventory economic order quantity. The fourth technique of inventory management is called as a classification or ABC classification. So the goods never ever remain same in the quantity as well as the volume. For example, if somebody take the example of his kitchen, you find there's three kinds of the things which you are using in the kitchen. One is your let's say elements, etc. Second is your pulses, and third is the floor. So do these three items occupy the same space as well as cost you find elements are more costly, take less space. Pulses are moderate in cost as well as take moderate of the value. Floor is comparatively much cheaper or much economical in terms of the cost but take a lot of space. So do you prefer to maintain same kind of the quality control or the strictness or the control mechanism on all these three kind of inventories? Answer is no, obviously no. So we want to maintain a strict control on items which are more costly, take less space. We want to take a moderate control on the items which are moderate in cost and take moderate space. And we want to be able to prefer a loose control for the items which are not much in cost and they take lot of space. So this is a ABC classification. Under ABC classification, we divide the items into three categories. It is also called as always better control. A is a category where items are around 70% of the cost and occupy around 10% of the space. The category B, which is 20% of the cost as well as occupy 20% of the space. Category C, 10% of the cost as well but take 70% of the space. So under these three categories, under A category we want to maintain a very strict control. Category B we want to make a moderate control. Category C we want to maintain a low or easy or loose control. So this is a ABC classification. We have one more technique which is related with the classification is called as a VED analysis. So VED analysis is more appropriate for the spare parts. V stands for vital, E stands for essential, and D stands for the desirable. So vital are those components without which your production cannot be continued. You always want to maintain a extra unit of the same thing. For example, in your car, you always maintain a stepney. Stepney is an example of the vital component. If there is a tire got burst or it's got puncture, if you don't have a stepney, you cannot run a car. So your production process will stop in absence of the vital component. Essential, they are desirable, their cost of replacement is high. So you may or may not prefer to have an extra unit of these spares. But vital, essential and desirable. Desirable are those which will not impact your production immediately, but yes, there you need to maintain them. If there is a breakout, you need to replace them. So that is called as a desirable. Thank you.